All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar on virtual tools supporting learning differences in arts education. Just a quick note that we will be recording today's session and it will be housed on our webinar archive. We're going to go back just one slide there, Elisa.
Sorry, my bad. See,
you are totally fine. There you go. And just a moment to introduce ourselves. I'm Sayward Grindley. I am the Dance and Visual Arts Consultant for DPI, and I'm joined by my team member, Brandon Rader, the Music and Theater Arts Consultant. You'll hear from him in just a moment. And we are led by our wonderful section chief, Dr. Lori Major Carlin. She's not here with us, but we love her dearly. And we are joined again today by the wonderful Dr. Lisa Hervey, who is here to present with us. You'll hear from her in a moment as well and get a lot more information from her. We did place a few things in the chat, just some websites and resources for you to look out. The last one is the link to the slide deck for today if you would like to follow along with that. All right, on the next slide, we'll talk about some housekeeping things. Just make sure that you use the chat for any questions that you may have. Feel free to ask us, and we will make sure to let Lisa know what your questions are. Stay muted during the presentation, unless, of course, at the end, when we open it up for questions, we let you know that you can unmute, then you can do that. And videos are encouraged so that we can see your face, but not required. All right, and then on the next slide, you'll see a little layout of your WebEx features where you can find everything. You can see where your mute button is and where your chat and participants windows are over there. So just take a look at that if you need. And I'm going to actually turn it over to Lisa right now to do our welcoming activity for everyone.
Hey, good. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Yes, I'm the crazy one moving all the windows around. I don't know what my problem is. Maybe I'll just close that one and you guys can handle that. So guys, what we're going to do is, we had a really good, we've been so excited. Sayward, Brandon, and I have been so excited about this presentation, and we had talked about this tool that we want to show you because this is about learning differences, but we also just want to show you a great tool that can also just be a great spark, maybe at the beginning of class, and again, that can be from crisis to the classroom. So we're going to kind of model how you use Pecha Flicker. I'm sure many of you have heard of Flickr. And we're going to do something called Pecha Flicker. And basically, it's an extemporaneous activity where we're going to have a series of images that come up, and then you would pose a question related to your content to help have the child or student or talk about it. So, but it's hard to explain. How about we just do it? You ready, Sayward and Brandon? Here we go. So they're allowing me to put kittens in here. And we're not gonna do 3 slides, y'all, please. We're not gonna do that. And how much time y'all want? 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds?
Sure, 10 is fine.
10? Okay, that's 30 seconds. All right, so this is where you gotta remember that things have to go to space and come back. And we have to reach for the stars and twinkle our stars because this takes a minute for it to load. Remember, that's what we do. We smell the cookies. It will blow the soup while we wait, right? So here we go. Who's going to go? What's the question? What's the question?
We're going to talk about
shape.
Value. Okay,
value.
Sure.
Value
we'll do
or shape.
Okay.
Value.
So,
okay.
You see that the cats are in the lighter values of gray, and there's a post or something in the darker value, and you can see that the things that are in the shadow are the lower or the darker values, and as things are further away on the cats, that part of their body is darker to give it a 3-dimensional sort of shape, that shading.
And the background is in a mid value between the lighter and the darker values.
I'm not sure why it's not switching.
I was going to say, I feel like 10 seconds went by.
Yeah, we totally did. And I don't know if it's because we're recording, because we did it the other day and it totally worked. So let's try it again, because that's just what you do. And it's okay.
Maybe do a few less seconds.
Maybe. Well, we'll do it one more time and we'll see. And honestly, we did this the other day and it could be because of WebEx. We just don't know.
And you can share things in the chat as well. to play along with us.
Here we go. Let's see.
Go for it, Hayward.
The cat's face is a lighter value on one side than the other because he's in the shadow there on the one side. This one, you can really see those lighter values coming out, and then the darker ones in the grass around it, and his little elbow is in the darker value. Brandon, go.
You can definitely see depth here because the things that are closest are lighter, and the things that are further back are darker.
All right. So basically, guys, that's what PetchaFlicker does for you. And we just wanted to, instead of talking about it, it's really hard to talk about what it does, but that's what it does. Again, remember, you're going to have some learn time later. It's a very simple tool. It's easy to use. You get to set all of this the way you want. The first time I recommend that you do it, you need to do it yourself first, right? You have to model it and take risk with intention. I would invite you to think about, maybe if you do decide to use this tool with a group of students online or otherwise, you might want to start with a team of students at first, because having kids go up there and do it individually might just kind of be a bit over the top. But that's PetchaFlicker. Anything else we want to do there, Brandon Sayward, or we want to move on? Are there any questions or concerns about PetchaFlicker?
I was going to say, let's go ahead and do it one more time. And we're really looking for our amazing participants to go ahead and type in some ideas. And we're going to go with form this time, form or shape. And so let's keep it at 10 seconds because I know chat sometimes takes a little longer. So just the first thing that you think of when you see that picture, how could you address form or shape in that picture?
Ready? Ready, go. Here we go. Reach for the stars. Twinkle your stars. Breathe.
Random photos are aimed at you. I love it. All right, everybody.
Breathe.
All right, form, go. What shapes do you see? Go ahead and write it into the chat. Cylinder and cones to create the bottle. Yep.
Triangle on the nose, triangle on the ears. Sorry. They almost make a circular shape there.
Mm-hmm.
Hemisphere for the cat's mouths. Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Well, I hope that the
well done. Go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
I was just gonna say we're only getting chat from one person. I hope that the chat is working for everybody today. But
that's okay. It's all right. They're tired. It's good. We got one. Maybe they thought we just needed one, but that's all right. Anyway, we know you're tired. This is a great opening activity, a great ending activity. I've taught this to lots of teachers and they love it and their kids love it. But we're going to move on. Or am I up? No, I'm not up. Am I up?
No, I'm up.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, here we go.
No. Sayward, you're still up.
Okay,
I can do this next one. So we are starting a brand new series on supporting learning differences in arts education. So this is going to be our first webinar in that series. We are also going to do one on MTSS overview for arts educators. And that is in 2 weeks, Brandon? Is that correct? In 2 weeks. So we'll be sending out information about that. So stay on the lookout. We are also in the works for creating a PSYOP supports program for ELL's course specifically for arts education. And then we are also working along with the North Carolina Symphony to create a session on sensory-friendly concerts in classrooms. So be on the lookout for all of those. On the next slide, you'll see our agenda for today. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit just about arts education in North Carolina, broad overview that most of us know. And then we'll dive really deeply with Lisa into those virtual tools for supporting learning differences. You'll have a chance to learn and ask some questions. Then you'll get your survey and certificate. Our webinar goals on the next page are to gain confidence in teaching the North Carolina Essential Standards for Art, which is what we always do, to learn about these tools to help meet the different learning needs of your students, understand how to empower all of these students that may have different learning needs, such as your IEP students, your EL, AIG, and 504 students. with these virtual tools, and make a plan for using one or more of these tools you're going to learn about to support at least one student in your own classroom. All right, I am now going to turn it over to Brandon.
All right. So we just love being able to touch base and frame the work that we do within the arts education landscape in North Carolina. So you will see that we have a ton of students, 1.55 million students in 2,500 public schools across 386 public school units, or LEAs, or school districts, whatever you might call them. And in those 2,500 public schools, we have over 7,000 arts teachers. And we want you to know that you are not alone. You are in great company, and that we are here to support you in whatever way we can. On the next slide, just a quick reminder about comprehensive arts education. Our predecessors loved to describe this as a three-legged stool, and it's necessary to balance our students' education with arts education explicitly taught by licensed educators to utilize arts integration and also authentic arts exposure to give them a well-balanced arts education. Without one of these legs, the stool will fall over and be unbalanced. So we want to ensure that all of our students are being given these opportunities, and that's what brought about this series today. If you've been to any of our series, even Lisa knows how much I love this framework at this point. These 7 design principles for remote teaching and learning was published on April 7th. If you are not yet familiar with it, I highly recommend that you jump back to this slide at a later time and take a look at these resources, because I think they really address all of the needs of all of our students, especially in this time. So, really fast, this is the 4th series that we have rolled out since June, and you can access all of our other series here by clicking on any of these images. Making Lemonade is about teaching in the virtual environment. Arts and SEL is exactly what it sounds like, and the feedback buffet actually features Lisa. And so now that we know how to use our LMSs, how do we actually give feedback to our students beyond just shoving content down their throats? And now, how are we reaching every single student while we're doing that? The last page here, before I jump over or pass it off to Lisa, is just a reminder of our robust SEL resources that we've been creating in conjunction with the entire Department of Public Instruction and A+ Schools of North Carolina. Teachers from the field help create these guidance documents, and these guidance documents do exist for every single content. So if your peers do not know about them yet, you can actually access all of the SEL webinars for every content area through our portal, and then also every guidance document for every content area as well. Check this stuff out. It's great stuff, but I know you're here for Lisa, so we're going to go ahead and pass it off to her, and I'm excited to learn all about this stuff too.
Okay. All right. I love listening to that. I always hear something new and exciting, and what a great team and service that you guys provide, those 7,000 teachers. And I want to say thank you to all of our teachers, but in particular, there's been some, there's unique challenges at all during this time, but you all do have some even more, let's say, complex challenges. And so we want to make sure that we're supporting you as much as we can. So I think I've introduced myself to you guys. I've been doing this education thing for 22 years. I'm just excited to show you some things that will amplify some of the learning for students, but more importantly, some of these tools will maybe even teach them how to fish. So a lot of the things that I'm going to show you are going to be good for you, but really the idea here is that you really want to get them into the hands of your students. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and maybe pre-answer a question. When you think about some of the things I'm going to show you, often I get the question like, well, who do I teach? Do I just teach the ones I think need it? So what I say to that is I just say that I feel like you should teach all the kids anything that we're going to do today. And then as you get to know your kids better, and their unique challenges and their unique differences and their unique talents, then you can kind of like privately support them and remind them of these tools. So I hope that makes sense as we move forward. Any questions or concerns before I jump on Sayward or Brandon? No?
No.
Okay.
Great.
So again, you probably heard this before. I use this as sort of the backbone for a lot of my work, but in particular, it is a very pertinent here. The reality is that all people have learning differences, full stop. Doesn't mean you've been identified. It doesn't mean necessarily that you need services. It's just simply truthful that not every single person learns in the exact same way. And we need to offer our students multiple ways of entry into their brain. So we can use technology to do different representation of what we teach and what kids learn. There's lots of tools that help us change up how kids and ourselves show action and expression and show what we know. And we certainly know that technology, to some degree, certainly helps us engage those students in ways that impact their personal learning style. So this is the universal design for learning. It's something that we all should be thinking about, especially during this time. But even when we get back to the classroom, it's still a good thing. So I'm going to go and I want to remind you though, and that if you want to go back to some of those slides, because I want to make sure, because we talked about some of these tools. We talked about Vocaroo as a recording tool. We talked about Padlet, how you can give feedback with audio and video. So we want to remind you of those tools, that we put them in the feedback bucket, but we also want you to recognize that those features, the recording tool, and then the audio and video features within Padlet also could provide an opportunity for students to give you what they know in a different way. There's even a draw feature in Padlet. So we just wanted to remind you if you had to jump back. Brandon or Sarah, did you have anything else you wanted to say here before I move on to the first tool?
Nope, I think you covered it.
Okay, so first thing we want you to do is we have a call to action. And the good news is that there's going to be a slide between now and when I actually start teaching you tools. So what we want to talk to you about is, you can click on this Edna NC. At the end of May, Edna NC actually put out a call for teachers to answer what kid keeps you up at night. And so as we move through this presentation today, or these tools, I don't even know if it's a presentation, we're learning together. That's what this is. I want you to kind of maybe conjure up in your mind, that child that you serve, that you are maybe perhaps noticing that that you are, maybe there's some concerns around how are they really getting the content, or maybe how they're expressing what they know. So we want you to think about that kid. And then as we go through the tools, you might want to ask yourself, would this tool help this child? Would it maybe possibly help another child? Would this tool be right for this kid? So that's sort of our call to action. Sayward or Brandon, did you have anything to add to that? No? All right. So again, we're going to bucket these into kind of those three areas along the UDL framework. So we're going to start with the what of learning. So the tools that I'm going to teach you are going to be the what. So before getting started though, I'm going to teach you some web-based tools, but most of the tools that I'm going to teach you are going to be Chrome extensions. So I'm just going to take a quick second to make sure that everybody understands exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Okay. Brandon, Sayward, go, if there's any questions or concerns or they come up through this, let me know before I move off. So here I am, and you guys can see my screen, right? All right. So this is what's called your omnibar. Okay. It's called an omnibar now because there used to be a day. Do y'all remember when we had to go to Google? Right. So now you can do everything. So that's why it's called an omnibar. Now, right here, people get little eye twisted when they look at my bar here, because like, look at all these little guys right here. Underneath my Omnibar are my bookmarks, and they're just my bookmarks without their name. You can actually right click a bookmark and you can get rid of the name. You don't have to have a name. So that just saves a little bit of room. Then you also notice that I got all sorts of characters up in here, and these are what we call Chrome extensions. This little guy, this little puzzle piece looking guy, he's kind of the organizer of all of these. Look at all these extensions that I have. Like, I can't even teach without my extensions. Now, I pin them and unpin them based on how often I'm using them, et cetera, but I only pin the ones that are my go-tos. But basically what extensions are, you have to kind of think of your browser as like a mannequin in the store, right? And you're going to go to the store and you're going to buy something for your browser. You're not going to spend any money. But you're going to go and you're going to get your mannequin some leopard tights. You're going to get yourself some earrings. Because what the Chrome store is, it's going to accessorize. It's going to accessorize your Chrome browser. And so when I teach you some of these tools, I'm going to drop you into here. And what will happen is when you add a tool to your bar, it will automatically pop up there. But then you have to, if you want to keep it on your bar, you're going to have to go and pin it. So it'll briefly show up and then it'll disappear, but it'll be down in here in this little puzzle piece, I promise you. Okay? That's as far as I'm going to go, unless there's people that are like, huh? Or there's any other things that I can show or explain right now before I jump into the tools. Yep. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to move really fast because I'm just going to show you what the tool does. I'm not going to really explain it. I'm just going to show you and I'm going to move, because the idea here is I'm just going to show you what it does. You're going to be able to get it and play with it later. So really just sit back, maybe reach for the stars. That means get your hands off the computer. And then we'll hopefully get through them all. Okay? Is that cool? Everybody good with that? All right, I'll say, so I'm going to go fast. So say where Brandon, slow me down if I need to slow down, but I'm just going to go. Okay? So I'm going to jump into this one. Now, on y'all's end, every time you see one of these hands, all you got to do is click on it. It's going to take you to the tool. Don't do that right now. Okay? Let me show you what Announcify does. Announcify is a Chrome extension, and this is what it does. So it's this little owl. He's sitting right there. And so, oftentimes, especially in remote learning, we send kids to articles, and this is what this tool does. This is what this extension does. This is all it does. So I pulled up an article that I want my kids to read. But so this is all it does. You just tell them, you remind the kids that might need this. Don't forget you have this, because this is what it does.
You are now listening to Using Project-Based Learning to Boost Online Engagement, Edutopia. When teaching in challenging times like these, it's easy to get so mired in the day-to-day minutiae of making online learning work that you can lose sight of how important fun is to learning.
Okay, got it, good. I want to show you just a couple things really quick. You can always right-click an extension and you can go into options. And one of the things, I don't mash this. It's I don't know why it's there. Nobody does. Don't mask that. That's not a thing. The only thing you really care about are text to speech, because you can actually slow the speech down. You can change the voice. You can do all sorts of things. But I would teach the kid this. Teach the kid how to do this. So once again, let me back that up. All I did was I right-clicked on right on my extension. I went to options. You go to text to speech and you can go there. Okay, good. Moving on. That's Announcify. The next extension I'm going to teach you is called Mercury Reader. Mercury Reader works like this. Sometimes we may or may not send kids to a website, an article online. And what we know for some kids is that this stuff is a hot mess. Like, what are we looking at? What is happening? Like, we don't have any idea, right? So, and I'm just going to go to an article here, right? And what we know is there's just lots of craziness. And then what you do, I'm going to let it continue. And that's how you know there's so much craziness, because it's just spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'm spinning. And it's waiting for all these ads and all this stuff to come in. And that's what drives kids crazy and drives you crazy, because they can't attend to what you want them to read. So you mash this little rocket, Mercury rocket, and bam, that's what it does. It just strips away all the nonsense. That's all it does. And if one kid, that makes life easier for one kid, then you teach it to all of them. And then that follows them for the rest of their life. Okay, next. Am I good? This pace good, y'all?
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
just going to jump in and say that I think I'm going to have to use Mercury Reader myself, because just focus time. I love it.
Right. Oh, I forgot to put tomato timer in here. I'll do it. I will do it. I'll just do it. I'll just ad lib it. It's fine. It's totally fine.
That's great.
It's totally fine. I panicked over clip. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Next one. Now, guys, this is a web-based one. Okay. So what this one is, and again, I'm going to do my own thing, and I know I linked it earlier. Okay, so this is a web-based one. You do need to create an account. That's important. And then what this does, and we were thinking about this, like in terms of script, like maybe theater scripts. I don't know. You guys could say some other things. We were talking about different writings, but basically. And you go to, and I didn't find a website. We're just going to do this. If like you have some kind of text, and I wished I had grabbed I did not follow your directions, y'all. You could find some text, and I know that sometimes language can be difficult, especially in some of the areas that you all are serving. So what this does is it takes text and it re-wordifies it for you. So what it does is it takes that, oops, sorry, come on. Oh, so it takes that crazy text, and it takes what it thinks are hard or difficult words, and it explains it to them, and then they can actually listen to the word. It has some other fun things that you could go on and have kids do. The other thing that it also does is that when you go back, so you can actually copy and paste text in there. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is... I'm trying to find that. There we go. The other way to do it is you'll notice that when you look at the edge of the rewordify, it says enter English text or web page to simplify. So even though it doesn't look like you should be able to put a URL there, you can. And what it does is that you can rewordify and display it. And that's kind of a face saving feature, because then the person next to them doesn't really know that they're not on the same website, but they are, but it's been rewordified for them. The only difference here is you're not going to get that sound when you do the website. Does that make sense to everybody? Want to add anything, Sayward, about this one?
Well, we did have a question actually about Mercury Reader. Do you know if it works on YouTube to take away all of the sad stuff on YouTube?
No, but I will. I mean, I'm agile. You guys, well, let me show you something that will save your life in YouTube. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to do something called QuietTube. Ooh. We don't know why it's not coming up. We discovered this yesterday, but you just type in www.quiettube.com. And what you do is you take this little guy, so www.quiettube.com, drop that in the chat. You take this little guy and you drag him up to your bookmark. Now watch my cursor, watch it. It'll turn into a little line when I'm in my bookmark. Look, you see that? So it says you're in your bookmark, you're good, drop it. Boom, okay? That's what you do. So we'll go over here to YouTube. I'm just gonna grab any video. Hopefully this is the alphabet video. Oh, good, this is a good one. So this is the part you all are talking about. We hate all of these suggestions, and gosh forbid if there are comments, right? So this is all you do. Watch me now, watch this magicalness. So when you have the video that you want to give to your kids, all you do is mash this button. And this is the URL you send your kids. You're welcome.
Holy moly, that's amazing. I wish I knew that when I was teaching.
That's it. Is everybody good? I thought we weren't planning that. Is everybody good with that? Do I need to go back and show that again?
Sharon, the one who asked, said awesome. So
Okay.
we're good.
We're moving on then. So while we're at that then, well, no, let me just I'm going to do my jump off here. Might as well. So
I was going to ask really quickly about the Rewordify. I'm curious if that will work or how that will work with ballet vocabulary. You know,
that was the thing I was supposed to. So how about we do this? How about I continue to go? And how about you do the homework I was supposed to do?
And I'll play with it. Okay.
And can you find something for me and then send it to me or drop it in the chat and then we'll get it over. How's that?
Yes.
Okay. So one last thing I do want to show you. So thank you, Sayward. Actually, you saved me with that. One just tiny thing that you might want to like sharing is caring, y'all. So a lot of times people are like, I cannot find anything online. That's the classics. Look at this. So I just clicked up in the left-hand corner, classical literature. Look at all of this. What? But wait, let's just go to Huckleberry Finn. It breaks it down into each chapter and wait for it. It's already reworded. You're welcome. Classic literature up in the upper there. This will just hiding in that little corner over there. All this awesomeness just hiding in that little tiny corner right there. All right. Tell your friends if you're not emailing your language arts and everybody right now. Please do. Okay. Here we go. Next. Oh my God, Brandon, I love you so much.
I got you. I got your back.
You do. Okay. Did you link it?
I did.
Okay. Let me see. Do I have, I gotta see if I had it. I'm not sure if I have it. I've got to have it. I got it. So I've got to find it. Oh gosh.
Remember, it's gray now. It's not red anymore.
Oh yeah. So let me do what I say. When you don't know what something
there it is. It's right next to your eyedropper.
Okay. So that's another thing you all should know. Like when you forget, when they change the icon and you forget, like put your cursor on it and do this thing I love to do every day. Breathe. You put your cursor on it and then it'll tell you what it is. So this is what Tomato Timer is. This is for your guys. What it is you turn it on and it's based on the Pomodoro research. And what that is, and everybody, when I worked at the Friday Institute, all of us use this because when we were in the office, when we weren't in the office very often, but when we were usually in the office, we were creating content. So we'd be sitting at our desks on our computers for hours and hours and hours. And so what the Pomodoro research effect is, it's 25 minutes of work and 5-minute break. And that's what this is set to do. But it also, is this where I go to do this? And you could teach kids, and this would be a great MTSS tool. I actually written this extension into MTSS plans when I was a principal. You can adjust the times based on what the kid needs. You also can teach kids that if they're distracted by YouTube or whatever is distracting them that they keep going to, you can have them list all those websites in there. And while you're in your time of working, those websites will not work. So maybe we all need that. I like to put my email in there personally, but so that's what this does. So it's a simple tool. It's magic. Any questions or concerns before I move off of that? Moving on. We're good, Brandon?
Looks good.
Okay.
I was just decoding for anyone who wasn't aware that MTSS means multi-tiered systems of support.
Okay. Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so then the next one, so that's all those, and we're going to switch over to the how of learning. So the next set of tools are going to sort of address this bucket, like the action and expression. Now, I may have shown this tool before, but we decided to keep this one just because, this one is one that we really do like. This is called online dictation. It's kind of simple, but I really like it. You launch the dictation. It does it in different languages. And it already, normally it does, you have to push start. Okay. And then you just start talking, and then you breathe, and then you see that it's recording me. And then you could teach kids to just copy and paste that into a Google Doc or whatever you need to do. They could email this to write to you, but you would have to learn with all these. I'm not going to get into all this. I'm going to show you the basic features of it. If it's your jam, then you come back and mess with it. Cool? Remember, learn is play to learn to plan. Here we go. Next tool. Am I good? Guess we only had what? So we're going to move on to the why of learning. I might have put this one. Maybe I will just do that. I'm just going to do it since we're being we're being non-conventional anyway. So I know that I was hesitant to put this up here just because I'm sure that many of you are aware of the Google Arts culture, but I just wanted to remind you a little bit, like as we did that call to action when you have that kid in your brain, right? That there are some features here that we can look through the learning difference lens at, right? So, there are some things that I really, really love, that you can explore by time and color. I mean, there's just lots of things that you may have forgotten that were here, that really would speak to different learning differences. You have a more visual person that you serve. This might be where you send them. And then there's some, different things that you can, look at. There's all these different types of art and just the way to think about how and mediums. And again, this is just a way to just get one more thing in there that we hope would help give all your students an opportunity to do. It's also a great extension activity. It makes a great QR code in your classroom when you get those helium hands and they're done early. Send them here, let them explore. Brandon, is there anything you want to show here specifically?
No, I was just going to say that, even as a music teacher, I loved this to go explore Beethoven House or to explore the Sydney Opera House or and not just to look at visual art, but also to explore the actual locations of things and that intersection between history and culture and art altogether.
Right. So that's true. So this was the piece I wanted to show you too as well. So when you really think about learning difference, the art camera is really where it's at. So, when you talk about kids and, maybe have some visual challenges, but you can really get into some of these images and things like that. So there's just all sorts of funny, crazy stuff here. And if you just haven't visited in a while, it's definitely worth, ooh, look at that. It's definitely worth a revisit. All right. So I'm going to move on. I hope I didn't do that to my whole screen. I did not. So I think I've just got a couple more here. All right. So the last one, there's two more. Oh, this is the last one. Oh, I'm really doing well. I'm really proud of myself. All right. The last thing we're going to do is, again, if you came to the I'm closing out my tabs because tabs take up a lot of bandwidth, just in case if you didn't know that. We went over Flipgrid. Okay, so I'm not going to reteach Flipgrid, so don't tune me out right now. All right, I just want to remind you that if you didn't happen to attend or watch my advanced session, there is an unbelievable amount of. Okay, now what is going on? Hold on a second. My computer's acting. I told you I'm having a weird internet day. It never not works. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I've not had it not sign me in forever. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Why is it not remembering me? Hold on, you guys. Sorry. I was literally. It never. Oh, you know why? Because I cleared my cache. That's why. Because I was trying to fix clip. All right. Give me a second. You guys talk for a second and let me figure this out for just 1 second. maybe, Sayward, maybe we jump back to Rewordify and you take over the screen and you pull up Rewordify. Can you do that or no?
You're muted, Sayward.
Okay, sorry, I was still on the screen looking at that, but yes, give me just a second.
Oh wait, I got it. I'm sorry. I'll do it. I got it. I got nervous. I panicked. Basically a panic, y'all. We're good. I'm in. Okay, here we go. You're just going to send me the language and we'll go back to it, Sayward. So I just want to remind folks a couple different things that is just amazing. If you don't know what you don't know. Oh my gosh, why am I having an internet day? I told you guys I was going to have an internet day. I knew it. All right, let me go down to my class, see if my class will open up. Yes, okay. So this is I teach in the grad school at NC State. I'm not blowing anybody up because I asked them, I got permission from them to use their stuff for the webinars and stuff. So what I do is, this is my student, Julie. This is a teacher. She's amazing.
Thinking back to when I was.
And I have 42 students and they're 3-minute videos, right? And so one day I just went on this wheel and there's this thing called Immersive Reader. And again, this isn't so much for you. This is what you would teach your kids, especially when thinking about how they can comment back to each other in Flipgrid. And especially if you have some Spanish speaking students, I'm going to show you a couple things. So first of all, what it does is that for those kids that really just don't want to sit through a video, then they can read the response. For some kids, maybe they need both. They need to listen.
Hello, everyone.
And
it's
hear.
Juliet. What reading means.
The other thing that they did here was every single word here has a definition and it has, and it might have a picture clue. What? Now, okay, that's great. This is amazing. We could stop here and we're pretty happy, right? Right. We'll wait for it. Remember, learning is about mashing buttons. What's that button do? Well, let's see what that button does. So for kids that need larger font, boom. For kids that need more spacing, boom. Maybe a kid needs a different contrast, that's fine. Maybe they need this kind of contrast, right? Again, you teach the kid this so that they can make it so that it works for them. This isn't about you. You teach them this feature. You can go on, but here's the big one. The final one that I still cannot believe, not this one, there's this as well. You could teach kids if they need that, they could toggle that. The picture translates on there, but here is the game changer. Here is the game changer. Just was with a bunch of teachers in Wilson County yesterday, and I literally made all of including their principals, like jaws drop to the floor when I showed them this feature. So you have kids doing a Flipgrid, and you have a Spanish speaking person in your class, and you obviously have English speaking people in your class, and you saw all the other languages that were in there. You would teach your kids that they record in their native language, but when they go to listen to each other's, especially that Spanish speaking kid, or I'm going to show it from English to Spanish, but it will go from Spanish to English. Check it out. Yeah. And it reads it in Spanish.
Hola a todos. Soy Julia.
Yeah.
¿Qué significa leer para
Yeah. And wait for it. But it gives both the vocabulary in both languages too. Oh. That's right. And the kid can go back and forth, back and forth. So your kids can actually talk and hear each other in their own language. Game changer. Done. Mic dropped. Questions or concerns? I'll show you one more. I'm going to back it all the way up. Oh man, I didn't mean to back that far up, but okay. You go to the video, you teach kids when they're looking at each other's video, it can be in a Flipgrid. You don't have to do it this way, but when they're in their Flipgrid and looking at each other's video, and they're looking at their teammates' video, you teach them to click the little wheel. Oh gosh. Oi. I told y'all. I knew it. Come on. It's a little wheel at the bottom of their video. I'm not sure what's going on. So, but I promise you, if we need to show you that again later, I will. But about any video in Flipgrid, it's going to have that little wheel. You're going to hit Immersive Reader, and then those little things, those 3 little things will be on the top. All right. Questions or concerns?
I was just going to tell everybody that Lisa showed it to us in the in the Flipgrid 101, I think, of the feedback buffet. And
No, not Flipgrid 101. It was the last one.
The Flipgrid desserts.
Yes. Okay. So again, just real quick, since my internet is obviously fighting me today, this little tiny thing. Another thing you guys need to be, other thing you need to realize is that all video in Flipgrid is defaulted to record and closed caption. You need to teach kids, it should come on automatically, but if it doesn't, then you can teach kids that they can turn that on here as well. But all those features that we were just talking about live behind this little wheel. Oh, that's weird. Wait, why is it doing that now? Why am I not getting Immersive Reader? I told you this is my day. I told you.
Is the little book next to CC Immersive Reader? Like, do you not have to hit the gear anymore? No, the one next to that, to the left. It always, that's new. That's been popping up right on as soon as I watch a video now, CC is on. So they just snuck that in. I don't know, but I just don't understand why my bar,
arena, and
I just don't understand why my bar is not. Don't you love how she's showing me her phone? Is she cute? Why is it? No, there. I don't know. Anyway, you go to Immersive Reader, and again, you're gonna play with all of this. You're gonna, this is where you're gonna play. That Spanish translation is back over here, and you got to do the whole document. Okay. So I want to kind of get into the closing, the witching hour here. I've just got one last gift for you. So on this last slide, if you click it, I think I clicked it. If you click this little guy, what I've done for you is you'll notice that once you click that, what I've done for you is there's a list, a 5-page list of all these type of extensions that I have been showing you. We've shown you some of them already. So there's Announcify, for example. There's Mercury Reader, for example. So we didn't do all of these, obviously, but what we wanted to do was pick a couple that we really felt kind of float to the top. And then you have this list now to go through at your leisure during, wait for it, Learn, which is going to be about 3 minutes, but that's okay. But I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn it back over. Well, I won't turn it back over. Are there any questions, concerns, or pushback, or anything I need to show again? We're good? Okay.
Yeah,
so I am going to turn it back over to you guys. Oh, we got to go back to Rewordify, don't we?
I mean, we can or not. I found a couple of things that I was trying out, and I think it works great.
Okay, perfect. Well, I trust you. Then they trust you too. So let's keep it going. I'm gonna go back to this. I'm assuming, right?
Yep. So we actually are thinking that you guys can learn for the next 7 minutes, all the way until 4:55. And I've dropped a Padlet link into the chat as well. It's also on the slide that Lisa will show us in just a second for Plurn while she's riding a velociraptor. And if you can just, anything that you feel like is awesome, if you can share that into the Padlet. It's just a sticky note Padlet, so you can just click anywhere and go ahead and do that. So,
what slide is the Padlet on?
It's on this one. I think it's because I edited it in the meantime that you might have to out and back in, but that's okay. I dropped it. There we go.
I got you.
There you go.
Got you.
And we will do a quick reflection when you come back. So make sure you put that into the Padlet, and then be ready to add something in the reflection in the chat.
Right. So that means if I had to refresh, guys, everybody needs to refresh if you want to get that Padlet link. So everybody refresh your presentation.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
All right. So we'll come back together in about 6 minutes to do our reflection and talk about how to get your CEUs for this session.
Lisa, we have a question to, could you show the QuietTube one more time? Because
Sure,
Chelsea
absolutely.
would like to learn with that.
Absolutely. I'm going to get rid of it right here. I'm going to cut it out. It's at my real one lives right there. But so while you do, Brandon, you drop the URL. Can you drop it one more time for me?
Yep. And I'm gonna make a new slide.
Yeah. It's just QuietTube.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, 1T.
1T. Got you. I knew I was not. Wow.
QuietTube.
Wow. Wow. It did not like that at all, did it? Just 1T.
Yep.
We just noticed this yesterday. For some reason, it just will not come up. Oh my goodness. Like I used to be able to just Google QuietTube. So that's kind of making me worried a little bit. I hope it's not going away. Okay, ready? Ooh, somebody took a picture.
That was me.
Okay.
All right.
All right. All you do, this is all you do. Okay, I'm gonna do it real slow. So remember again, your bookmark. So here's a key thing. Let me show you this. You got to go to file. Oh, where's the thing? Oh, you have to, if one of the main problems, and we discovered this yesterday, if you don't have on your view, if you're in Chrome, if you don't have your bookmark bar showing, this will not work. So everybody, if you do not have this checked in your browser, this will not be able to drag up into your bar. So you got to get that straight first. Cool. Once you got that, once you go to view and you get that, when you can see your bookmark bar and write that guy, right? I see Sayward writing that down because this is the only thing that'll hang teachers up because they try to drag it into the Omnibar and it won't work. So you just, all I did was I'm just holding it down and just dragging this with my mouse, just moving it up to my bar. And once it sees my bar, it'll turn a line. Boom, it turns a line. And then you just let go and it puts it there. Okay. Then it was just so happened I was going to go get a vitamin string quartet on YouTube anyway. So this works out. And I don't even know. No, that's
Disney Plus.
no. Sorry, I wanted music. Sorry. I don't know why I'm being weird. Oh my God. Just pick one. Okay. And so what you do is when you find the video that you want, this is the one you want to give to your kids. You're not going to give them this link because we don't like all the nonsense. All you're going to do is when we find the video you want, you just click on YouTube. I don't know what it does. I see my hands are up here. I don't know what it does. And then, well, it basically puts QuietTube in the front of it. It creates a unique URL. This is the URL you drop into Google Classroom. This is the URL you drop into Seesaw or whatever you're using. Does that answer the question? Yeah, we're good?
Yes. She said yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if you can get the short link anymore. I don't know if that works anymore. Oh, I guess it's doing it through Bitly. Never mind. That's probably why I didn't mash it. I probably already mashed it once.
I like the black background. We hit 4:55. I'm just going to share a little bit of some of the reflections, liking the tomato timer and a concept of breaking, or it breaks down in a way that the kids can see the countdown. And that QuietTube is awesome. So of course, everybody loves QuietTube. That's super awesome. So go ahead and continue to put things in there as we take an actual reflection here. Sayward, I'm going to go ahead and let you take over.
Yeah, so you can add these into the Padlet or the chat, whichever you feel more comfortable with. But think about these 4 areas that you might want to reflect on, one or more of them. So you look at the diamonds. What are some gems of wisdom that you gathered from the people here today or the content? The hearts, what is something from the heart? How do you feel now after today's session? What are some new ideas that you maybe dug up? So what did you dig up today with your spade? or what ideas, thoughts, or point of view did you grow? So what grew for you today? And those, again, you are welcome to add those into the Padlet or write directly into the chat, and we will hang on to those as well. But we'd love to hear one or more of those perspectives for today as our optimistic closure. And remember that these are part of our new SEL practice that is being presented all across DPI to use 3 signature practices within our work. So this is the third, which is our optimistic closure for the day. You could take a look at more of those and examples of things that you can do within your own classes in that little link at the bottom there.
We got some coming through, y'all.
Yeah, wisdom that I can customize to remove distractions and provide focus. Excellent.
That's great. Yeah, a lot of people have said that QuietTube is priceless for music teachers, and the ELL extensions look amazing and definitely going to utilize those. So that's great. Awesome.
Good. Well, keep them coming in, guys. Tell us what wisdom you got. Maybe what's something that touched your heart. What's your new idea? Or what different point of view did you glean, hopefully, this afternoon?
We love hearing these things because it definitely helps shape the direction that we go in the future.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and skip the next slide, which is Q&A, because we sort of have built that into our Plurn section. And in just a second, we will, share a lot on Seesaw and QuietTube in conjunction with that. That's awesome. So we are going to drop a link here into the chat for the Google form that you will be able to use in order to to give us feedback on this session and any sessions that you might like to see from here on out. And then at the end of that, you will receive an email that has a customized CEU certificate as well. So Lisa, I think if you can jump ahead maybe 2 slides.
Oh I'm sorry. I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like, don't touch the screen.
No, you're great. Awesome. And so, once you fill out this survey, you'll be emailed the PD certificate. Please do be very careful with how you put your email address in. Otherwise, you won't get your certificate, and that's a big bummer. But usually I can go retrieve it. If you haven't received it within 24 hours, please do send me an email. On the next slide, you'll see Sayward's email, my email, Lisa's email, and Lori's email. And even though it says see you next series, we actually mean see you in 2 weeks for this series. The lead of the academic and behavioral support systems at the Department of Public Instruction here is going to walk us through what the MTSS, or multiple tiered systems of support structure, is and what it really means for arts educators. Like, why should we care about this if we don't, quote unquote, have to get involved? So I think it's a great one. And please know that it's not just for arts educators. We're going to be looking at it through an arts education lens, but just like this one, most of these tools are applicable to all teachers. So invite your friends, please.
And the person that we have doing that with us is also our CASEL lead and in charge of the SEL implementation team. So a wonderful person for you to know who she is and make some contact with her as well.
Wonderful. Sharing is caring.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much. We will probably stop the recording and Facebook stream, but if you have any additional questions,